Good afternoon, everybody. Did you get a bite to eat for lunch? I have not had mine yet. I was going to have some chicken, but OJ decided it would be better served in his belly. He's really been milking this cold. If you were listening to the Summer Wells show yesterday, OJ sneezed like 5 times and like right in the microphone. Finally, I was like, all right, enough. You're not that sick. Who did I miss? I saw Angel P. Hello, Nani. Hey, Aaron. What's up? Kaleida Hope. That is one of the coolest YouTube names. Misty. Hey, Misty, did those storms get you last night? I was thinking about you when I got up this morning. I slept through it. 100-mile-an-hour winds. I had been going back and forth on Facebook with Mary, and Mary was like out of electricity, sub-zero weather, and I'm like, damn, I'm glad I'm not Mary. Whew, thank goodness. Next thing you know, 100-mile-an-hour winds. They got it bad in some areas. Liberal Kansas. Whew, I wouldn't want to be in Liberal Kansas right now. It got remodeled, rightfully so. God. Hello, Sharon. Slim said, don't let the vet know. I about had it with that damn vet. Yes, Nana, achoo. Now OJ's over in the window scratching at the window as if he can get through the glass. The birds are taunting OJ. That's okay. That's what OJ gets. Speaking of being taunted, I think like we're all being taunted. What the hell are these idiots doing? How did these people make it through law school, business school, whatever they went through? Then they make it into the world of politics and they don't know their ass from a hole in the ground. It's like one hand doesn't know what the other one's doing. These are our fearless leaders. These are the idiots that get elected. So they decide over the weekend when nobody's paying attention, they thought to just blindside the state of Texas and the state of Michigan and truck the toxic waste in, as if the people of Deer Park, Texas, or Detroit, Michigan wouldn't have a thing to say about it. Well, they did. So now the EPA has halted that great project they had going on. There's other places they can put it, places that were built specifically for it. They're just wanting to dump it on other towns now. It's not going to work that way. Too many people are fired up, heated up, and they're mad. The EPA is so damn corrupt. Look up Quapaw, Oklahoma sometime. There are chat piles there taller than my house. Those people have been battling illness and tumors since God was a boy. The EPA is they're more than aware of it. Robert Kennedy Jr. has been there so many times, he's starting to blend in like they just know the dude. It's horrific. So Erin Brockovich was in town. She had a lot to say. She spoke very candidly to the people of out East Palestine. Good for her. Just Me said, OT Times Beach, Missouri. Yep. Love Canal, New York. If you want a disaster, get the EPA involved. That's what I'm saying. And if you want something not cleaned up, get FEMA involved. We're on our own, my friends. We're on our own. Happy birthday, Alibi. Alibi is in here. Today is Alibi's birthday. Now, normally the birthday song, it says CLL on there. You all know it's no secret. It's kind of all one and the same. Let's tell Alibi happy birthday. And what a great YouTube name, Alibi. It's like you covered all bases with that name. It's perfect. All right, so let's get to it. I'm going to look at the comments. This morning when I was going through the news about what's going on going on in Ohio. I see this pissing match, back to the idiots, if you know what I mean, between Mayor Pete and Rubio out of Florida. Marco Rubio tells Mayor Pete he needs to resign. Gotta be kidding me. I love how they all want each other to not have a job when they're not doing their job, but they know how the job goes down because they're all politicians. They know it. So he wants him to resign. Mayor Pete barks back and says, "The last time I heard from you, you were fighting me about safety on the railroad. You should resign. No, you should resign." And I'm like, "You get real, freaks." First of all, Mayor Pete wasn't driving the choo-choo train. And neither him, now he should have been all over this disaster before other things they decided were more important, like the Ukraine. I about had it with that crap. All right, and I don't believe that either Mayor Pete or Rubio, between all their kickbacks and their fat cat Washington spending, were up all night at any time, losing sleep over safety regulations of the railroad. I don't think either of them care. It's kind of one of those things they just kind of have to deal with when it pops up. The rest of the time, they're kind of worried about other things, and that's kind of what keeps them comfortable. They are for sale to the highest bidder. That is the scum that is Washington, D.C. Hopefully, I'm not hurting anybody's feelings by saying that. That's just how I feel about it. They are scum, epic scum. They are not our friends. While they're at their inaugural balls drinking Cristal champagne, we've got enough money for some Keystone Light to get us through the weekend. Scum. All right, let's look at these comments, and we're going to talk about what the NTSB decided to hit us with. It's a huge surprise. You guys are just not going to believe it. All right, Nani said the first thing she thought of was Deer Park brand spring water. She said, which according to their company's website does not come from Deer Park, Texas. Not that that information makes her feel any better. Well, they do have a distributor there. Now then, she said, the second thought that popped into my head was, why do I feel like we have some part of some sick science experiment? That's how they make us feel. Something like a derailment turns into a toxic spill. It's in the air, it's in the soil, it's in the water. And what do they do to the commoners? Ship it to Texas. Oh, and don't forget, we're taking some trucks up to Michigan too, as if they don't have any water problems there. But no, she's right. And they don't even let the governors of either state know. Do you think the people of Texas wanted phosgene in their soil? They said, we're going to do an injection. We're going to inject it 4,000 feet into the ground. You won't see it for 100 years. Not the way you people do things. You guys could mess up a wet dream. 100 years would be next week. Gotta be kidding me. Next stop, I'm calling it right now, is St. Louis. Get ready. Everything gets dumped in St. Louis. Jim22 said, what the hell is going on? I heard this today, and they also said they took some of it to somewhere in Michigan. How safe is this? He said, now I hear the White House is blaming the people of Ohio. Yeah. So did Joy Behar on The View. She said it's their own fault for voting for Trump. Trump wasn't driving the choo-choo train. He said in the Trump administration for this disaster. Now, they're smarter than this. They just love to play dumb, and we eat it up because people get caught up in the blame game. You would have to go back decades. I'm talking before Nixon to find the actual problem. The railroads are huge, huge money. Jim also said everyone on both sides just needs to work together and try to make this right and fix the situation instead of pointing fingers while these people suffer. He said, I thought the government was supposed to work for the people. They're supposed to. For the people, elected by the people. Freaking toxic waste. Toxic waste. Every administration has backed off of some safety regulation. Then you get a few years out, the other administration isn't going to fix what's not broken. Epic disaster. And they all point the finger. They all point the finger. You'd have to go back to my great grandpa's generation to figure it out. JC is in the house. Hello, JC. I'm so glad you're here. How's it going?
Hi, good. How are you?
Good. I'm so glad you got to come up.
Thanks for having me.
No problem, because I know you're fired up about this too.
Oh, I am. Very much so.
Well, I just think it's absolutely ridiculous. I'm going to play this clip really quick. This is what the NTSB released the other day.
Okay.
And I guess they all think we have stupid written across our heads. What I would really like to know, you know what? I don't want to know what any of these people make per year. It would probably make me more mad than the disaster. Here we go. Hold on to your britches.
Warning signs before the crash in East Palestine, Ohio, which spilled toxic chemicals into the area. Train operator Norfolk Southern says its crew acted properly and pledged to continue cooperating. This comes as Transportation Secretary Pete Buttigieg visited East Palestine after facing weeks of criticism for his absence. Roxana Saberi has the latest.
Secretary of Transportation Pete Buttigieg acknowledged the criticism he's received in recent weeks.
I'm here for the work and not for the politics.
As he visited the scene of the toxic train derailment in East Palestine.
Well, first of all, I want them to know they're not alone. That before, during, and after the national attention, they're going to have support. They're going to have support from us when it comes to holding Norfolk Southern accountable. They're going to have support from the EPA when it comes to making sure they get accurate information about the safety of their air, water, and soil.
As trains continue to pass through this small town, a preliminary NTSB report shows investigators are focusing on an overheated wheel bearing on the train's 23rd car. According to the report, defect detectors placed along the tracks recorded 3 separate increased temperature readings before the disaster. The first, 38 degrees above the outside temperature. Then 10 miles later, 103 degrees. And finally, 253 degrees above the critical threshold, setting off an alarm on the train. The NTSB says that's when the crew applied the brakes as mandated, but the bearing failed and 38 cars derailed.
Problems need to be identified early, so something catastrophic like this does not occur again.
I didn't even know there was chemicals involved until 2 days later, maybe.
Eric Whiting, an East Palestine resident for 12 years, lives only around 30 yards from the train tracks.
No value is in the home anymore, and maybe that value will come back, but it'll be years before even the stigma of the town is lifted.
He says Norfolk Southern should consider buying out homes like his. For CBS Mornings, I'm Roxana Saberi.
Well, they should consider buying out the homes because nobody else is going to buy. I don't care if they're giving it away. No one is going to buy any real estate in Chernobyl, Ohio. It's not going to happen. So that was the big jaw dropper. It was preventable. They even explain it to us. Did we need that explained to us? We didn't need a science experiment. We knew it was preventable. God, you didn't have to read more than one paragraph of any article to know this has been going on for years. What says you, JC? Were you surprised by this big revelation?
Oh, no, not at all. Not at all. It was definitely preventable. And they knew how toxic these things were mostly. And I had talked to you about what my dad experienced with it back in 1980. And he lobbied to get it banned. And yeah, it was definitely they've been aware for decades.
Now tell that story, because I wanted you to come up and talk with us about this. Okay. Now this is a real life story, and I have to preface it in case you guys missed it. 1980.
Yep, November 21st, 1980.
So
My dad,
we're just coming out of the Jimmy Carter administration into the Reagan administration. As we can see, this has been going on forever and a day. My sister was born in 1980. Okay, go ahead, because
yeah, I
this is
was,
crazy.
I think 6 years old when this happened. Yeah, there was the MGM Grand Hotel fire in Las Vegas. My dad was there, and the it started in the, I want to say it started in the kitchen. It was a deli case that, or a pastry case. That's what it was. It was a pastry case that ignited. And because all of the coverings in the casino were made out of PVC and including the piping, it was like a battle zone. Balls of fire were shooting out everywhere from the explosion from this. So, and my dad survived, but there were, I think, 87 people that did not. And it,
Whoa.
yeah, it devastated the hotel. They rebuilt it, I think, to Bally's now, but back then, oh, it was awful. I think 200 people were sent to the hospital. I might be a little off by that, but around 200 people. And so yeah, my dad, he lobbied and advocated to get this stuff banned in public places like this, and it did nothing. It did nothing. It basically it changed the fire codes in Vegas, and that's about it.
Nothing to see here, right?
Exactly.
But now I will say changing the fire codes, especially in a town like Vegas, is huge.
It is. Yeah, but it should have been national. I think that they should have done this across the country, across the world, and it was not very spoken about. It was hidden a lot of the time too during that time, that he really got no attention from it. He tried so hard to get this stuff, at least, I mean, it became more popular. If anything, the piping in homes turned from copper to PVC. So it
Now,
just, yeah,
PVC is some dangerous shit. It really
it
is.
really, yeah,
And
when it's ignited.
we have to have chemicals. We have to have fuel. There's a lot of things that we have to have. There has to be a happy medium. And it
Right.
seems like what we have is people saying, nope, all
Yep.
or bust. And then we have another group of people that expect us to fuel our cars with leaves of grass clippings. It doesn't work that way.
Right, exactly. Yeah, it needs more attention. It should have been more publicly known how dangerous. I got into a Twitter argument with somebody the other day where they were saying they work with this stuff every day and it's not dangerous, and because I'm not a scientist, I don't know, and all this stuff. It was just terrible. People are just so uneducated about it.
It's extremely dangerous. Hell, the stuff that's used to make Scotch tape is dangerous.
Right.
That's the reason you have safety regulations. And instead of, I mean, they kind of did it to themselves, though. You can't get people off the couch to go to work. So
Right.
they have to rush all these people to get one person's doing the job of 10.
Yep.
And it's all being passed down. I mean, this is the highest inflation in the history of the world. And they did it to themselves. And of course, we have to pay for it, though.
Exactly. Yeah.
So now what have you heard? Because I tried to get caught up this morning, and there's so much. I mean, seriously, it's minute by minute.
It really is. It's hard to keep up.
So as of right now, what I'm gathering, FEMA is still not there. The clinics are still not diagnosing anybody. They're basically tracking symptoms. They're not doing anything for the people of East Ohio.
Right.
And the EPA halted their plans to move the toxic waste to Texas and Michigan. I guarantee at least one truck got into Michigan.
Oh,
I
I'm sure.
guarantee a few trucks got into Texas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I haven't heard much of anything other than what you just stated. I know that there was a PA, I think she was a senator visiting there, and she was hospitalized because when she was there, she was feeling lightheaded and dizzy and had a really bad headache. And on her drive home, she stopped and said, I better go get checked. And she was hospitalized just based on her symptoms, but they let her go. So they're not diagnosing anything, but people are being affected.
Yeah, these are the same people that that treated soldiers after Vietnam that had been exposed to Agent Orange. I don't think I'm going to trust these people.
Exactly. Yep. Nope. Nope.
It's absolutely disgusting. So
It
I'm
really.
going to look at this real quick about the EPA and what they are doing as of right now. This was just a few hours ago. It's probably already changed.
Ohio gave an update on recovery efforts following the train derailment just over 3 weeks ago. Authorities say so-called sentinel wells will give an early indication of whether there's any contamination in the area. 38 cars of a Norfolk Southern freight train carrying hazardous materials went off the tracks, causing a spill that contaminated water and soil.
That's it. Sentinel wells. It's already in the soil. They would have to dig to China to get all the soil that's been contaminated. So, that aside, what about one of the most basic rights that a human has? Water.
My son, he works at a local grocery store, and I'm in Pittsburgh, and he's about 30 minutes from here. He's in Beaver County in a town called Hopewell. And it's a grocery store. It's just a local chain, but they recalled all of their water that was in a gallon size or larger, and there was no word of it. Only one channel that I found in our local area talked about it. Everything else that I saw was aired in Ohio, nothing here locally, but we're the ones that are buying it. So we're the ones that should be alerted in our local stores. It's scary. It's very scary. He
Now,
said
where
they get.
are you? Now, where are you? You don't have to give your address or anything.
I'm in Pittsburgh.
Oh, hell, you're right there.
Yeah. And
Oh
he's
my
even
God,
close.
you're not far from there at all.
And not at all. Yeah. And my son, he lives with my ex-husband right now. He's 18. He's on his own, but they're over there, and they're in Hopewell, it's about 30 minutes from Pittsburgh, but it's right along the Ohio and by the railroad tracks. So they're right there. I was coming home from picking them up the week after it happened. My little ones were there visiting. And as I'm coming down towards the river, I drove through a big cloud of smoke. And I couldn't, at the time, I had no idea what it was from. But now I'm pretty sure that that's where it came from. And as I was doing it, I was saying, this is a really thick fog. This is almost like a fire. And now I know what it was from.
Of course it was.
Yeah. It's scary.
Slim Hauser is mowing and drinking beer. That's how you get it. That's how you get it done. Now, see, that's how you get work done. These people don't understand anything. Alibi said, yes, it's true. She said Giant Eagle pulled all the water from there too.
Yep, that's where he works. Giant Eagle.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now let's do a poll real quick. I'm going to ask you guys what you think. I'm going to go ahead and get all conspiracy on you. Do you think this was planned or truly an accident? Because the more and more and more, the fact that our president and our Secretary of Transportation didn't react fiercely tells me that they kind of already knew it was going to happen. They didn't seem to be too upset.
I think it was planned.
Amy said planned. Angel said accident. Erica said planned. Mary's waiting on toxic snow right now. Damn, Mary, that's grim. Chelsea said planned. Slim says planned. I mean, come on. This is just to not have any reaction to what is going on. And that's your job, not the president per se, but the Secretary of Transportation to not have any reaction. And here's the thing, Norfolk Southern doesn't seem to be sweating it, and something like this they could be paying for hundreds of years, and they don't seem to be too shaken by it.
Yeah, they're not going to admit any wrongdoing at all. So I don't know. I think it was planned. I think a lot of these things are planned, but I'm a conspiracy theorist. So
Well, I mean, it just, the CEO not showing up to the town hall meetings. You would think you'd want to get ahead of this as soon as possible. And the fact that they were just kind of like, whatever. Now, mind you, I know they have billions of dollars, but it's going to take more than billions of dollars to take care of generations of people. I think that they are going to be taken care of by our government. I think they're going to be A-okay.
I have to mute for 1 second. My son needs me. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, you're fine.
Thanks.
Just me said, I almost wonder if it's terrorism. Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, like domestic terrorism. Ilyanka said there was another explosion near Cleveland, very recent. And Nani is right down that rabbit hole. She said there's probably a pharmaceutical company or two already thinking of medications people will need in the future to treat the health problems that's going to affect people somewhere down the line. Yep, you said it. I guarantee. We're going to start seeing commercials soon. Some sort of medication to take care of symptoms related to phosgene inhalation. It's crazy. Absolutely sick. Now then, Erin Brockovich she's there right now. Jay Woody said have to tear it down in order to build back better. That's the truth. Got to have a destruction to have construction, right, Jay Woody? I put the link up, by the way, if anybody wants to come up and talk. Now, Erin Brockovich, lover or hater, she's at ground zero. Let me put it that way. She's not walking around in a goofy ass construction hat like the politicians do, as if they've ever done a day of hard labor in their life. They didn't even know how to snap the damn thing on. And she's telling them, don't sign anything. Don't trust them. If you need medical help, go to the ER, see a real doctor. Hell, they've got LPNs there treating people. Nothing wrong with an LPN, but they're not a doctor. They're not a doctor. They're basically medical receptionists taking information and putting it in the computer. There's no help to be given. It's horrible.
It's awful.
Erin Brockovich demands government officials stop gaslighting. That's the word.
East Palestine and Ohio and Ukraine are not technically related in any way, but you still can't help but notice the difference between how they are treated by the Biden administration. So the administration just announced another $2 billion in funding for Ukraine. We sent them over $100 million already, but no money for the people in East Palestine, who, as you well know, were exposed through no fault of their own to toxic chemicals. Erin Brockovich is in East Palestine tonight, and we thought it would be interesting to talk to her. And thank you so much for coming on. Do you know, can you see the disparity in the... Oh, of course. Can you see the disparity between the concern for the people of Ukraine, which I'm not discounting as real, with the concern for the people in East Palestine? There seems to be a huge difference.
Well, it's certainly concerning to the people of East Palestine. I mean, we're pushing a month now and they still don't have any answers. It's very obvious something's really gone wrong out here. I've been out here down on the ground and they're really frustrated why they don't feel that their agencies or their administration cares about what's happened to the community. So it is very apparent they are concerned and not being seen or heard.
So that you make such an interesting point, and I don't know the answer to this, but you've been around this kind of thing before. You think that there's something specific that they're not being told? That's your sense?
Yeah, there is. And I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, come on. We're out here. What if 44,000 fish are dead? We've seen them. We've seen them out here today, aerating the creeks. They're removing stuff. The wellheads are locked. What's up? Look, you don't have to go any further, in my opinion, than a 100-year study that we all know the miners did for us. It's called The Canary in the Mine Shaft. Send the canary down there, it dies, might not be good for humans. You have dead fish, might not be good for humans. You have dead animals, might not be good for humans. You've sent a horrible mixed message to this community. Drink the water, don't drink the water. Safe, not safe. It's horribly confusing and extremely frustrating to them. And something actually has gone wrong here. And there's information that has yet to come forward, and the story will continue to unfold.
That's so nicely put. And I just want to pick up on something you said. The wellheads have been locked. What did you mean?
So in the schools, so the children can't drink the fountains, and then on private wells around here, they've got locks on them. So they obviously, come on, but if there's no problem, you don't need to lock a drinking fountain. You don't need to be aerating the system, and you can explain away all day long to me that nothing's wrong, but I see what's going on here.
Yeah, I think it's better to
You're
make
not going to
decisions
gaslight
based.
me.
It's better to make judgments on the evidence than on the words. I agree with that. Thank you, Aaron Brockovich. Good to see you.
Now, if that's not suspect, they're locking the wells.
I'm so glad that she is there to speak up for people. She is definitely a good advocate to have on their side. But that is scary that they're locking the wells. Yeah.
Well, and the kids can't drink out of the fountains at school. What does that tell you? And like she said, 44,000 fish. So you got all these dead fish, dead ducks, dead chickens, dead raccoons. Well, I understand that we're different than animals, but we pump blood and we breathe oxygen as well. That means humans can die too. Allison is exactly right. When she did her town hall meeting on Friday, the lights kept going off. They kept cutting her mic. She knew what was going on. We have Erica backstage. She is an Ohioan. I think that's how you say it. Let's see what she's saying. What's going on, Erica?
Oh my goodness, this is scary, man.
Yeah. Yeah, I can take a tornado any old day. But what's going on there is horrible.
Oh yeah. And I don't even think I'm anywhere near it, but it's going to happen here. It's probably going to happen here.
Are you near the Ohio River?
I'm like an hour and a half south of Columbus.
Okay, let's look at where, let me see. Let me put my map up. Give me a second. Just give me a second. Where do you get your drinking water from, Erica?
Right now, I think it comes from the city.
Where does the city get the water?
I have no idea.
Because from what I'm learning is that a lot of people in Ohio, there's the map. Okay, so you're pretty far away. Okay, you're around Columbus. So you're pretty far away from the Ohio River. What I'm learning is that a lot of people in Ohio get their water from the Ohio River. Well, the problem is the soil is contaminated in East Palestine, which contaminates the water, and the water has been rushing down the Ohio River since February 3rd when this happened, and by now is in the Mississippi River.
Oh my.
Yeah.
Yeah, with these high winds we've been having lately, it's made it very far by now.
The conspiracy theorist in me is going absolutely crazy right now, and I'm scared.
I would be too. I'm scared, and I'm in Oklahoma.
Yeah, it's scary.
There's trains that run all over this country. If it can happen in East Palestine, Ohio, it can happen in Pryor, Oklahoma. If it can happen in Pryor, Oklahoma, it can happen in Pittsburgh. It can, anywhere you see a train track, it can happen. It is, when you think about it, it's the perfect way to totally destroy a town if you want to. Just pick a town, any town.
Definitely.
Wow. Actually, it's raining out there right now, and I'm wondering if the rain's toxic.
Well, that is one thing that they had discussed. Now, I don't know what direction the rain came from. If it came from the east, it could definitely have that phosgene in it. Juju decided to come and visit us. She's been heavily following the Murdaugh trial. Murdaugh has really put a kink in my chain. Everybody's watching Murdaugh and not what we have going on. But Juju is here. She said they're trying to kill us, in my opinion. That's it in a nutshell.
Absolutely.
Hello, Lisa. Sarah said, what did they do with the cleanup from the train? Funny you mentioned that. Well, over the weekend, when everybody's doing their weekend stuff, they thought it'd be a great idea to dump it on the citizens of Deer Park, Texas, and outside of Detroit, Michigan. And when the powers that be in those two states found out, they said, hold up. You didn't ask to come dump your shit here. So the EPA said they were halting that plan. I have a feeling it's probably going to get dumped somewhere around Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, around 3 in the morning. That's where they put all that crap from 3 Mile Island and didn't tell anybody in town about it.
Holy cow manure, man.
Or out west somewhere where there's like no civilization. That's really all they can do with it. I mean, when you go out west, okay, so like when you're leaving Woodrow, Oklahoma, and you're going up towards the panhandle of Oklahoma, going to venture into Colorado, you can go hours upon hours without seeing another car, getting a radio station, forget about cell signal. So probably out west somewhere, they're just going to wind up dumping all this. Honestly, that's probably what's going to happen. They're going to have to build some tanks. What they call them, Centinel tanks.
Yeah, that's probably what they're going to do. The scary thing is it's already been exposed. It's already been in the air and in the water. But getting rid of what they can is good, but it's already there.
Yeah.
Scary.
Well, see, and that's my thing. Once it's already in the soil and it's in the water, you've ruined a community.
Right.
So what do? Like that guy said, they need to buy all our houses. Do you see them making any offers to buy real estate in Chernobyl, Ohio? No.
Right. Yeah, that town is basically going to be one of these ones you see as the abandoned cities of Ohio or Pennsylvania. That's exactly what it's going to be. It's sad.
And we can live with chemicals on the planet. They're in pretty much everything. Everything from tape, glue to Tupperware. There's chemicals in everything. We have to have them.
Mm-hmm.
Not in our food, though.
Right.
Yeah, that's another subject we're getting ready to tackle around here. You're especially going to like it, Erica. Fake food. You wouldn't believe how much crap we have that we eat that is sawdust particles. You'll never look at a bottle of Parmesan cheese ever again after you see this next show.
Oh boy.
It is disgusting. So, I think it was Sarah that was asking, hang on, I got to put this clip up real quick.
Out of the toxic train derailment in Ohio. We learned that runoff water from that derailment is no longer headed to Southeast Texas. A shipment paused by the Environmental Protection Agency. Truckloads of the wastewater have been arriving at Texas Molecular in Deer Park since last week. The facility specializes in disposing of industrial waste using what's called a deep well injection method. ABC 13's Maya Shea joins us live on this Saturday with the latest on what she's learned. Maya?
Well, we spoke to a lot of local officials today, and we were trying to figure out just how this all came about. It turns out Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee says she's been pushing the EPA to put a pause to this, and she says she got results. When ABC 13 first reported days ago that contaminated water from East Palestine was being transported for treatment and disposal in Deer Park, it caught just about everyone by surprise, including Harris County's top elected official, Judge Lena Hidalgo.
I was concerned when I realized that there wasn't much information about how those transports were being made, that actually we were the recipients of the materials but hadn't been told for a week or more. So really that's where I'm coming from. And I think that it does make sense, generally speaking, for there to be oversight and proper oversight.
And according to Congresswoman Sheila Jackson Lee, the Environmental Protection Agency didn't know either until she told them.
They did not know. And with their review, they have put a pause and indicated that no further disposal of the waste will go on without federal review. That's a big step forward.
Now, Jackson Lee is praising federal authorities for pausing the transport of the contaminated water to Texas Molecular, a company that specializes in this type of work.
I never think you can be too safe, too concerned when you're dealing with toxic materials.
The mayor of Deer Park, who lives just a few minutes away from the plant where 1 million or more gallons of contaminated water has already been treated and transported, says he's not concerned either way.
We've never had concerns of regards to the company, and based on all the reports I've seen from the judge and anybody that's raised questions, no one's questions the safety record of this company and their ability to do what they were doing.
But for now, even though a substantial amount of the water already made its way to Texas.
Does his shirt say mayor on it? Does he really have an embroidery that says mayor on his shirt? I got to look at this. Do you see that?
It sure does.
Oh, damn. Do y'all see that? It says mayor on his shirt. I'm speechless. Holy crap. I'm going to get a shirt that says mayor.
On all the reports I've seen from the judge and anybody that raised questions, no one's questions the safety record of this company and their ability to do what they were doing.
But for now, even though a substantial amount of the water already made its way to Texas, there is at least a pause.
I think ultimately what it brings to light, Maya, is that there is work to be done in how hazardous chemicals are transported.
In Houston, Maya Shea, ABC 13, Eyewitness News.
We have two emergencies on our hands now. We have toxic waste being transported out of Ohio, and the guy that's in charge of an entire town has mayor embroidered on his shirt. I don't even know what to say about that. I'm sure he's a great guy. There are treatment facilities all over the United States that can filter this stuff. Why are they not taking it? I only have one thing that comes to mind. Money. Money. Ecolab in Eagan, Minnesota has one of the biggest treatment facilities and hands down amazing. Why is Ecolab not getting a government contract to do this? Why?
I was wondering the same thing. I mean, surely it can be filtered at these places.
Yeah.
Makes no sense.
No, there's tons of wastewater facilities that can do this. Are they just not wanting to spend the money? That's normally the problem in, well, really anything that arises anywhere in the world. Usually money comes into it. I thought Norfolk Southern said that they would, the EPA said they were going to hold them to it. Well, then you hold them to it from start to finish. We're not talking about picking up their rickety rail cars and fixing their train track and buying some houses in East Ohio. Not that that's a small task, but I'm talking from A to Z. With my luck, they're going to bring it to Ohio, filter it, bottle it, and sell it to me. That's how shit's been going lately.
Yep.
Oh, man. Me, oh, my.
It's horrible. What the hell are they thinking? And you have all of these people getting sicker and sicker and sicker. People that have never had a cold before suddenly have nosebleeds. Chemical burns. Mm-hmm.
I just said ew.
It is. It is. I'm with Angel. Send it to Russia. Send it to Ukraine. They owe us, don't they? They've only gotten $200 million out of us since Christmas. Send it to them.
I could tell you another place they should dump it, but I don't want to bring true crime into it.
No. Disgusting. I don't know what they're going to do, but they're going to have to figure something out because, just like what they tried over the weekend, dumping it in Texas and dumping it in Michigan. Then you have the powers that be in those two towns saying, no, we don't want that. Then they're like, to make us all feel better, well, we're going to get a federal regulation to take care of this. That doesn't make me feel any better.
No, not at all. Mm-mm.
You have all these people that don't want to go back to work. Incentivize them. Go ahead, get a big government contract at a place like an Ecolab or something like that. Start paying and start filtering it. Hang on. Why is this thing not loading? Okay, here it is. Sorry. Ah, crud. Thank you, Jules.
Angels.
February 3rd, a Norfolk Southern freight train traveling from Illinois to Pennsylvania derailed in a fiery crash in East Palestine, Ohio. 38 cars derailed. 11 of those derailed were carrying hazardous materials. A few days later, authorities conducted a controlled release of chemicals from derailed cars to avoid the risk of catastrophic explosions.
We're urging everyone in this area, actually ordering them to leave.
Some residents are worried about returning home, wondering what the lasting impacts of the toxic train wreck could be.
What do you use to clean your home for a chemical that you've never known existed?
Do you even plant a garden?
How concerned should we be?
This is a very complicated situation. There's a lot of different chemicals, complex chemicals, and there's their degradation products. It's a lot to keep track of, but there are certainly health concerns. We know that a lot of these chemicals are dangerous, and we know that people are complaining of not feeling well.
I've had 2 headaches in my life, and I feel like I've had one every day since the controlled burn.
It sounds like the EPA is doing everything that they can in order to.
Okay, this doctor doesn't know what she's talking about. She's exactly right about complex chemicals and them in the air. She sounds like they're doing everything they can. Look, unless she's looking to work for the EPA, she can just pump the brakes. Now, believe it or not, there are certain people that really believe that the people of East Ohio are being big babies, that they're looking for a money grab and that they are making up all of these symptoms in order to get rich. No. No. I don't believe everybody in the town is making up nosebleeds, blood clots, headaches. I've seen pictures of the burns. We've seen pictures. We've had it on here. And to even suggest, because the way a town votes, they had it coming. Let me tell you what, if I said something like that, my channel would be shut down within the hour. And some people celebrate. They celebrate these people. It is disgusting. This man has had like 2 headaches in his whole life, and now he's got one he can't get rid of. No, he's not making that up.
Monitor
Nope.
but we only know as much as the EPA tells us, right, in terms of levels and things that are being monitored.
Unfortunately, train derailment is not uncommon in the US. In 2022, there were over 800 derailments and nearly 450 cars carrying dangerous materials were either damaged or derailed. What makes this train derailment different from others is the vinyl chloride, a highly volatile, colorless gas produced for commercial uses.
We were notified a short time ago that we've had a drastic change in the chemical inside the tank cars that we've been concerned about and watching all day, the vinyl chloride.
We do know that vinyl chloride was released. We know that this is an IARC1 carcinogen, which means it's a known carcinogen to humans. It can cause side effects such as dizziness, eye irritation. It can cause damage to the bones and vessels in the hands. And not only just the vinyl chloride, but there are breakdown products of the burning of vinyl chloride. It is a little concerning, but also sometimes the alternative, letting these chemicals that can be very persistent in the environment seep into the soil, into the water. You have to make a judgment call in real time. It's not a great situation either way.
As we head into this next phase, state and local authorities will continue the water sampling efforts, and EPA will continue indoor air screenings to residents within the evacuation zone. But let me also be crystal clear. Norfolk Southern may clean up the mess that they created. And
Okay, I see where this guy's coming from. I do like him. He seems like a really cool dude. I'm sure he is. But they keep honing in this message. I guarantee you, I hate when people say, oh, I guarantee. With what? Back it up. Come on. Norfolk Southern, they are going to pay for this. Then why are you trying to sneak the mess into Texas and Michigan? Why don't they pay? Why don't they build a treatment facility in Ohio? Come on. You can't guarantee. These people are huge. This company is bigger than the damn government, if you really want to know the truth. You can't make them do anything. What are you going to do? You can't make them do anything. You can't put them in jail. What are you going to do?
the trauma that they inflicted on this community.
We've made a lot of progress. There's more work to be done. We're coordinating with the EPA throughout the process. Air monitoring and water monitoring test results continue to come back. They all show that everything's clean.
While the state and federal officials have
Those idiots drinking water. Why are the results of the tests that the EPA is doing, why are they not made public? Why can't the people of East Ohio and Western Pennsylvania, why can't they access the findings of these tests? JC, are you allowed to see the results of the tests?
Nope. Haven't seen a single one.
And you're in Pittsburgh.
I am.
Erica, you're in Ohio. Have you been able to access the results of these tests? Erica is muted. Erica?
Nope.
I think that's important. I think that's important to know. I think that's important things to know. They should not be keeping them in the vault.
Exactly.
Yeah, of course they're going to say everything's clean. They're trying to cover themselves. Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Prove it. Slim said, Brooks, there's a hazmat waste facility in Troughton, Ohio. That's around Dayton. So take it there. Unless it's full of other hazmat. I don't know. Jin said cover up. Damn. You guys are really fulling it out today.
assured residents that so far the water and air are testing safe. Long-term consequences from the release of dangerous materials remain uncertain.
Do you trust health officials telling you that your water is clean?
This could last either a very long time or be done relatively soon. It really depends on how good of a job they did at burning off these chemicals. Air sampling is being done, water sampling is being done, but we also have to take into consideration people are still reporting symptoms, and just because levels that are being detected may not be immediately threatening to life and health. There could be lower levels that are still responsible for people's symptoms, and we have to take that seriously. What the situation is going to look like, there's still a lot of testing that needs to be done.
Hi, everyone.
I just really think they should make the testing public. You know, you can monitor all day and test all night. Shouldn't the public know what levels you're seeing? They said, you know, trust us. Trust us. I wouldn't let you drive a choo-choo train around my house.
I wouldn't let you drive my invisible Porsche.
Nope. Sun said it's so clean they're sneaking it around to other states in the dark of night to inject it deep into the earth. But sure, it's all okay. Think about that. Yeah, exactly what Sunset's saying. It's so clean that they have to sneak it into other states. Other states hear about it and they're like, no, thanks. No, we're good. Just Me said, who is doing the testing? That's what I want to know too. The EPA is overseeing it. Wouldn't it be good to know who's actually doing the testing? It's probably some company owned by BlackRock. Not gonna, or Vanguard. They only oversee. They're not out there testing shit. It's bad, and it's only going to get worse. I tell you what, the wool is not over our eyes, and that's what they can't stand. That's what they cannot stand. Social media has probably been the biggest thorn in the government side. The worst thing that can happen to them is for us to know what's going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I've seen so many videos on Facebook and TikTok of people that live there that are showing like the chemical burns and things like that, the oil film on top of the water. They can't hide this. They can't. There's just too much publicity, too many social media outlets for people to talk about it.
Yeah, you're exactly right. And they're going outside of their own house in their own community, taking footage of what's going on around them. You can't make that up.
Right. I saw one with snowflakes that weren't melting. The girl was in a hot tub. It was snowing and the snow was sitting on top, not melting, and then it floated to the bottom. That's scary.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nope.
No.
This is going to go on for many, many, many years. And the thing is they will put a Band-Aid on it. They will. They might even buy a few houses. Some people are going to scream louder than the others. Some people are going to trust that they are doing the right thing by them. Some people are going to be happy with the $2,000 that they got. I mean, really, they will. We know how people are. We all know people like that.
Yep.
But what's really going to bite this community in the ass is 10 years down the road.
Yeah. You're absolutely right.
And it is horrible. Well, guys, that's all I've got for today on this one anyway. We're going to stay up to date on this as best we can because I'm telling you, every time I hit refresh, there's another damn lie on there.
Thanks for having me. I enjoyed being here. It's my first time I've been on a panel, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well,
Thanks for having me, Brooks.
No problem, Erica. Don't be shy. You guys grab the link anytime and come up and chat with me.
Okay. Thanks.
That applies for both channels, right?
That's right, girlfriend.
Awesome.
Britt said it's not being talked about enough or seriously enough here in Minnesota. I told my family and they looked at me like, what the hell are you talking about? Even when we're almost a month into this, it's scary how many people still don't know about it. They're not pumping out the information like they do when they really want it, knocked into our head. You know what I'm talking about, the stuff you can't get away from. Freaking COVID. I swear to God, every newscast, they had COVID numbers, COVID numbers, COVID numbers. Oh, a spike in COVID here, a spike in COVID here. You've got people that have been exposed to horrible, horrible chemicals. Phosgene, vinyl chloride, hydrogen chloride in the air, chemical burns, nosebleeds, you name it. Why aren't they putting that on the news? We've had a spike here. We've had a spike here. We've had chemical exposure here. We've had chemical exposure there. They're not saying a damn word about that. Got to be kidding me. Got to be kidding me. It's absolutely sick. Man, very dangerous chemicals. You're right, Shelley. All right, guys, I'm going to wind it down, and I will see you back on the other channel. It's getting confusing, and there's only 2 channels. I don't know how some people do it. I'm telling you. So I'll see you on the other channel, the main channel, tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. Now at noon, we have a members live. You never want to miss a members live. You never know what's going to happen in a members live, and it's a big one because it's for the February birthdays. Got to keep some happiness with all the grim, disgusting things that we have to talk about. So I'll see you guys back here tomorrow at 9 a.m. You have a great one. And thank you for staying up to date on this with me.